We've seen so much evidence that the Pixel 6 series was supposedly to come with Face Unlock alongside that in-display fingerprint scanner, but where is it? Well, here's why the Pixel 6 likely isn't getting Face Unlock and how it might work on the Pixel 6 Pro. Thanks for watching 9to5Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. So compared to its previous implementation 2.5 years ago with the Pixel 4, Google does not have any traditional dedicated hardware or power for Face Unlock on the Pixel 6 Pro. Instead though, we have an idea of just how it might eventually work, and sadly, it means that the regular Pixel 6 might be left without Face Unlock at all. We need to discuss a few of the camera differences to really give you an indication of why there are some differences here and why Face Unlock might not come to the smaller model. So compared to the Pixel 6, the front-facing camera on the 6 Pro has a higher or greater megapixel count. For reference, that is 11.1 megapixels versus 8 megapixels on the regular 6. It also has a slightly wilder field of view at 94 degrees versus 84 degrees. It does though have a slightly slower aperture of f2.2 versus f2.0, and the pixel width is also marginally smaller at 1.22 micrometers versus 1.12 micrometers. Those differences aside though, the most important real-world difference is actually how the Sony IMX663 sensor, found in Google's larger phone, the Pro, supports dual pixel autofocus or DPAF, while the IMX355 on the smaller Pixel 6 actually doesn't. Interestingly though, the Pixel 6 Pro specifications page doesn't actually mention the presence of dual pixels for the front-facing camera, but we do know of its presence due to Asus using the IMX663 in the Zenfone 8. It's worth noting that Google has been using DPAF since the Pixel 2 back in 2017 to actually generate depth maps for portrait mode to add that fake bokeh effect with just a single lens, including that front-facing camera. And to take Google's own explanation, if you imagine splitting the fairly tiny lens of the phone's rear-facing camera into two halves, the view of the world seen through the left side of the lens and the view seen through the right side of the lens are actually slightly different. These two viewpoints are less than 1mm apart, roughly the diameter of the entire lens, but they're actually different enough to compute stereo and therefore produce a depth map. So a year after the Pixel 2 with the Pixel 3, Google actually combined DPAF generated depth maps with machine learning to actually improve this overall depth estimation. The Pixel 4 in 2019 combined dual pixels with dual cameras to actually improve the portrait mode even further still. Of course, on the Pixel 4 and by extension iPhone's Face ID, Face Unlock starts with the Flood Illuminator tech, illuminating your face with infrared light, while the dot projector then projects thousands of points onto your facial features. IR cameras capture that image and then compare it to the Face Unlock model, which is stored on the Titan M chip that was saved during the initial setup process. Of course, the Pixel 6 Pro doesn't have a 3D face scanner, so on the Pro model, Google is going to be relying solely on what is captured by that selfie camera to authenticate that it is you. And this has always seemed like a more googly approach, which is primarily using software to tackle difficult problems that would ordinarily need extra hardware. It's also something that the Android ice cream sandwich powered Galaxy Nexus leveraged way back when it was released back in the day. So why is all of that information important? Well, it seems that a combination of DPAF depth maps and AR Core could be the solution to solve the Pixel 6 Pro's Face Unlock problem. We actually believe that a depth map generated by DPAF would be useful for capturing the contours of your face, while Google, from its work with AR Core, also have depth information or depth from motion algorithms that require just a single RGB camera. In essence, this means that a detailed depth map could be created by taking multiple images from different angles and then comparing them as you move your phone to estimate the distance to every single pixel. This could help with the shortfall of no dedicated 3D Face Unlock camera on the Pixel 6 Pro, and the wider field of view could also help improve the accuracy of readings or those scans. Meanwhile, Google's Tensor chip, which is the powerhouse of the Pixel 6 series wholesale, offers faster machine learning and processing, and previously has touted how the chip itself allows, at least in photography terms, faster, more accurate face detection while using less power. These building blocks might be just how Google could actually pull off and bring Face Unlock to the Pixel 6 Pro, without needing any extra hardware, and it very much leverages skills that the company has been working on for years between computational photography and machine learning. So that's the potential how of Face Unlock on Pixel 6 Pro, but when could we actually see this release? Well, we have seen some evidence that it is definitely being worked on in the recent Android 13 beta, which isn't actually working at this stage, but one of the sources has told us that Google is still definitely working to add Face Unlock on Pixel 6 Pro, and it's targeted for the next major quarterly Android update. That could be sometime around June, based upon the regular Pixel feature drop schedule, although our sources also told us that this could be subject to change. After all, Face Unlock was hinted at multiple times before launch, and it was then subsequently pulled without any sort of ceremony. Given the somewhat mixed reception the fingerprint scanner has received since the launch of the Pixel 6 series, we're sure many of you out there would definitely welcome the addition of Face Unlock. It is just a shame that it will be limited to the Pixel 6 Pro as far as we know at this point. But I want to ask you, what are you thinking now? We've laid all of that information upon you, kind of explaining how it could possibly work. Are you happy, unhappy, annoyed, elated? Let us know down in the comment sections below. But until next time, this is Damien with 95 Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.